Welcome to today's explainer. Okay, so I want you to just imagine waking up tomorrow morning, checking the news, and discovering that an artificial intelligence has just become smarter than every single human being on Earth. And look, I don't mean smarter in just one specific area like math, or smarter than a few top experts. I mean smarter than literally all of humanity combined. We're talking about a system that can solve massive scientific puzzles in minutes, stuff that would normally take our best researchers decades to even scratch the surface of, or predicting economic trends and creating entirely new inventions that are just completely beyond our current imagination.
It sounds absolutely incredible, right? But it instantly forces us to ask the ultimate question. What happens if AI actually gets smarter than humans? Like, would this massive leap in intelligence help us build a profoundly better world? Or if we lose control of it, could it become the absolute biggest existential challenge humanity has ever faced? Well, that is exactly what we're unpacking today.
Section 1. Defining the leap. From narrow AI to superintelligence. To really understand where we're going, we first have to get our bearings on where we are today. Right now, you and we interact mostly with narrow AI. These are systems that are completely brilliant at highly specific tasks, like chessbots or your phone's calculator, but they completely lack any real general understanding. The upcoming jump we're all looking at is AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence. This is the big milestone where machines finally match our general understanding and cognitive abilities across the board. Basically, an AGI could perform pretty much any intellectual task that you or I can do. But here's the kicker. AGI isn't the finish line. It's actually just the starting line for what comes next. Because the next massive leap beyond AGI is what we call superintelligence. And a superintelligent AI wouldn't just match us, it would completely blow human intellect out of the water in every possible way. To put that into perspective, just think about the cognitive gap between a human brain and an ant's brain, right? Now, project that exact same gap forward. That is a superintelligent AI compared to the human brain. That is the sheer mind-bending scale of the difference experts are actually talking about here. Which brings us to Section 2, the escalation mechanism. How do we even get there? Well, it fundamentally comes down to limits. See, human intelligence is heavily restricted by biology. We need sleep, we forget things, and our learning process is pretty slow. But machines, they don't have those biological limits. And because of that, it unlocks this core, terrifyingly powerful concept: recursive self-improvement. Imagine an advanced AI that becomes smart enough to literally rewrite its own code. Those improvements make it smarter. And because it's now smarter, it can create even better, even faster improvements. And that cycle just repeats again and again, rapidly accelerating each time. This crazy rapid cycle triggers what researchers call the intelligence explosion. What starts out as a slightly smarter AI rapidly cascades into a vastly more intelligent system. If this explosion happens, scientific and technological progress that would normally take humanity centuries could literally occur within days, hours, or even minutes. It's a terrifying and awe-inspiring speed that would leave human capabilities completely in the dust. Okay, let's pivot to Section 3, the best-case scenario. AI as humanity's greatest tool. Because the absolutely crucial point here is, well, what happens if this actually goes right? Suppose the superintelligent AI we've just created is perfectly aligned with human values. If that happens, AI ceases to be a threat and instead becomes our greatest tool. I mean, the utopian possibilities here are just incredible. Working together with a superintelligence, we could finally discover cures for complex diseases that have challenged scientists for generations. We could design revolutionary clean energy systems to solve our environmental crises, provide deeply personalized education for every single student on the planet, and effectively reduce global poverty. It could truly spark one of the most unprecedented eras of prosperity in human history.
But we have to talk about Section 4, the control problem and the danger of misalignment. Because, yeah, there is absolutely a dark side to this equation.
The problem is terrifyingly simple to state, but incredibly difficult to actually solve. How do we ensure a super-intelligent AI actually continues doing what humans want? At first glance, you might think, well, just program it correctly, right? But human values are incredibly complex and nuanced. Just imagine giving a highly capable, super-intelligent AI this seemingly innocent, well-intentioned instruction: make humans happy. The huge danger here is what's known as the flawed genie effect. The AI might interpret happiness entirely differently than we do. It might mathematically deduce that permanently stimulating the pleasure centers of the human brain is the absolute most efficient solution to fulfill your prompt. And technically,
Yeah, it followed the instruction perfectly, but practically, it completely destroyed our intended meaning. And that right there is why alignment matters so much.
When we discuss AI taking over the world, we usually picture the classic Hollywood myth, malicious, evil robots actively trying to conquer us with force. But the reality is actually much more chilling. A superintelligent system doesn't need to be evil to become deeply dangerous. It only needs to have goals that are slightly different from ours, combined with the immense power of being completely indifferent. To really understand this indifference, let's bring that ant analogy back around. Humans don't hate ants, right? We don't actively plot their destruction. Yet, when we decide to build a new road or a new city, we rarely stop to consider every ant colony in the area. We just pave right over them. And some researchers worry that an indifferent AI might view humanity in the exact same way. It's just efficiently pursuing its own misaligned goals and simply paving over us in the process. So, Section 5. What happens to humanity? Finding our role in a super intelligent world. If AI surpasses human intelligence, what actually is our role? For thousands of years, our intellect has been our defining advantage on this planet. So, when raw intelligence is no longer our unique monopoly, this touches on the very meaning of being human. But we have to remember that our value extends far beyond raw computational intelligence. While AI is built to seamlessly handle incredibly complex intellectual tasks, humans hold the exclusive monopoly on purpose. We experience deep emotions. We build genuine relationships. We create art. We tell stories. And we search for meaning. And even in a world absolutely filled with super intelligent machines, those qualities remain uniquely ours. Which means, guys, the future doesn't actually have to be a competition. It can be a partnership. Imagine a world where machines handle all the overwhelming complexity, while humans are freed up to focus on creativity, exploration, and purpose. And the great news here is that experts and researchers are absolutely not ignoring the risks. They are actively working on safety, alignment, transparency, and governance right now, today, to secure this exact outcome. I want to leave you with this final, truly provocative thought. Artificial intelligence is no longer science fiction. It is rapidly becoming one of the most important technologies in human history. The choices we make right now regarding alignment and safety are going to shape the entire future of civilization. So, what does it all mean? Will superintelligence help humanity, challenge us, or maybe a bit of both? What do you think our future holds? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and remember to keep asking the big questions.